Hey Danielle, happy
Hey,
Sunday.
happy Sunday.
Hey guys, a lot of you are already tuning in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is our Sunday, mine and Danielle's Sunday show. We've got Colleen
Colleen.
with us in the back. Give her some snaps and hearts and all the things. We love Colleen, and thank you so much for helping us today. Joan was out with a migraine, sadly, so she is down and resting as she should be. Um, I hope you guys have been enjoying Great Beat Extravaganza. I need to go back and rewatch some of the stuff. I didn't rewatch. I watched the reposting, the recording of Rebecca's video, the Kumihimo designer. It was phenomenal. First of all, her camera work is really amazing. So I need to like contact her and see what her secrets are. I think we do a good job too, but there's always some tweaks that I would love to make. And then her project was phenomenal. I've done SilverSilk Kumihimo, but it is not this pro level stuff, you know. Um, yeah, I've got I see some people. I'm like reading comments at the same time.
Yeah, me too.
How's your week been, Danielle?
It was one of those weeks that flies by but felt long, where I got half done what I extended to, but treading water and doing well other than that.
Isn't that always the thing with small businesses?
You're never fully achieved. Like there's always something that you didn't get to. Right?
Exactly. Yeah, that I feel like I can make myself a to-do list, but inevitably when I reach the end, it's just like I forgot these four things. And
Yeah.
then it either becomes tomorrow's problem or right now's problem.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Why don't we pen down to our beat boards then? And
Okay.
I've got a project to show you guys. So I thought I would sort of do the takeover for a little while, and then we'll pen back down to Danielle's project, and then she can teach us what she's working on. And I believe your project is from last week, so you guys have to watch the previous Sunday's recording to see the magic that Danielle was constructing. And then my project is completely different from last week. I thought I would teach you guys how to create this bracelet. And so I'm going to teach you how to do a barrel knot. We're going to be using a Landella bead for our focal bead there in the middle. And then this is the leather knitted cord. And this is all, by the way, from Winter Renewal, including the seed beads, which are from Danielle's seed bead box. And what a box that was, Danielle. You did an incredible job picking out the colors.
Thank
And
you.
I just think that this was the perfect start to the year.
I loved it. And there's still some of those available. I believe beadshop.com still has a few of those size 10 delicate mixes.
Okay. You don't have any in your store, though, correct?
Yeah, no, this isn't exclusive to Bead Shop at this point. Any of my box stuff, I just have that going over there because they're set up to do the orders in bulk like that.
Perfect. Colleen, I'm hoping that you'll be able to. Okay, perfect.
Oh yeah, and I can do it
Down
too.
the link for that. So that's awesome. I'm also going to teach you guys how to do these end caps with the peyote stitch. So I think it's fun. It's innovative. Within your SilverSilk bead box, you get the materials and some starting materials as well. There's a couple of single strand end caps in there. We used them last time for last week's project. And so if you've used those up, you can definitely make the bead woven ones here with me today. And if you haven't, you can absolutely just sub out the bead woven end caps for the SilverSilk ones. Not a big deal. And the great thing is that, in fact, this bracelet works without the bead weaving. If you want to do it without it and just have the Landella bead in the middle. But I will say the bead weaving and the seed beads from Danielle's box really adds that magic touch to all of this and makes it come alive. And, we all have a little extra. We need that extra in our lives. So let's quickly go over the materials as I kind of just did, but we'll go a little bit more in depth. These were the seed beads that I was mentioning. These are delicas. And correct me if I'm wrong, Danielle, but are these size 10 delicas?
That's right.
Perfect. In your Danielle Wick seed bead box, you get a set of 4 different colorways, and they're, in fact, all 4 of them are a mix of delicas, but within sort of a color blocked way. So there's like a mix of yellows, a mix of browns, a mix of whites, and I think some of these iridescent ones as well. And I'm hoping I'm stating all this right, Danielle, that I'm not giving away
Yeah,
fake.
yeah. They're basically you could just go look for white, topaz, blue, and a yellow. And they have fancy names, but that's basically what they are. They're mixes of those colors.
We do love our fancy names, don't we?
Yes.
So you'll need approximately like 2-ish grams of it. Just got some sitting out here for my demo. You'll need a Landella bead, which these beads are made proudly here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I don't believe they're made anymore, but once upon a time, this was quite the little bead shop here, or excuse me, bead factory. And they did have a outlet or a brick and mortar store for a little while where they did custom bracelets and stuff. But their beads are pretty unique because they are brass. These are 100% brass, and this is a powder coating. They're not plated. So you're looking at hypoallergenic beads that are done with powder coating, and it's something completely different. Sadly, these are not in production anymore. What you see is what you have, either in your bundle or you can grab some from the website. I just uploaded a few colors that they had left that went under this colorway. The whole inside should be 3 millimeters approximately. They do vary. I did notice that some are just a pinch smaller and some are a pinch bigger. So, but either way, I believe that the leather knitted cord, which I'm about to talk about, is able to fit through that. Okay, so speaking of, this is the leather knitted chain that's in your Winter Renewal bundle. The bundle, by the way, is sold out. However, if you go onto the shop, you can still sign up for the wait list, which really means that the bundle won't be available, but there are going to be future bundles that Danielle and I have proudly put together under a cohesive theme. And I think, Danielle, we make a pretty killer team.
I agree. We're having fun to boot.
It's so much fun coming up with these beadbox themes and to add our own creative touch to it. So you'll want to get on that wait list even if it's sold out. This is a 2.5 millimeter leather cord that has silver wire knitted on top of it. I do create this with my hands and with a machine, so it's both machine and handmade. And you get a full 3-foot spool to work with. I'm going to go ahead and use a gigantic length here to demonstrate my bracelet design. For this project, you really probably don't need any more than maybe about 15 inches. And that is just because there's some barrel knots on both sides. Otherwise, you just need some Fireline or what's another good brand of beading wire? There's also Wildfire, I suppose.
Yeah, wildfire. You could even use like KO, and you could use the Eslons, 1G, Miyuki thread. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some options. I feel like with this particular thing, I went with Fireline. It's more wiry, and so the stiffness kind of helps me create that end cap a little bit better, a little bit more structured. And typically with the Miyuki thread, because it's so soft and so wavy, I don't know if wavy is the right term. I like to use it for fringe, but I have cheated and used it for other things too. So there's necessarily not a right or wrong way. It's just kind of thinking through what you're using it for. I would not use Fireline for fringe though, unless it were very thin. 6 pound to me feels a little bit heavy for fringe particularly, but in this case, I'm not worried about drape. And so the other thing is a 6 pound. So I typically like to go with the 6 or 8 pound in smoke color is this one. And I'm using smoke to give you guys the contrast so that if I used white thread, you would not be able to see what the heck I'm stitching. And I can't have a class where people don't know what I'm doing, right? So I'm going to use a contrasting color thread, which is the smoke color. But you know, always have another color backup, which is the petal. Alrighty. Let us start with constructing the structure of this bracelet. So the first thing is I want to create that barrel knot. And I'm going to go into my silver silk and I'm going to go about 7 inches. You can measure this on your bead board if you have a silver silk bead board. If you don't, I highly recommend grabbing one because these are awesome. But what you want to do is kind of lay it across your finger. Now, I will say there are barrel knot tubes that you can use to create these particular knots. Oh, thank you. Call. I love that. You can use those barrel knot tubes. I just prefer to use my fingers because it's the ready tool that I have on hand all the time. Mostly. Depends where my brain is. All right. So I'm going to grasp that leather cord with my index finger and my thumb. And I am just going to start to wrap it around my finger. Actually, I think I need to go further down. So I said 7, but let's go down further to 10. 8, 10. Okay, there we go. All right, let's try that again. You want enough to work with here to do this. All right. Essentially, you're going to do 3 loops, but it looks like 2 on one side because I have it sort of wrapping around my finger. What you're looking for is a loop that you started with and then 2 additional loops, which I've got here and here. Once you've done that, you're just going to go in on the other side of your finger. You can even pull it out slightly if you want to. It's not going to unravel or anything, but you want to pull it through so that you've got this really amazing little knot happening. And then you want to pull it tight. Okay, just kind of press against the fingers or pull the silver silk against your fingers, and you'll notice that it starts to tighten, and that's a barrel knot. Isn't that magical? You'll have a little bit of extra silver silk on the side, and that's just going to have to be a thing, you know? And again, we're just going to string on our Landella bead. You could also, if you want to, and are feeling really OCD about like making sure that this holds, you can absolutely drop some glue, some Loctite glue in there. I think I had some out, but I might have put it away. Now I can't remember where I put it. It might be in one of my other boxes. So I'm basically going to repeat the same step with the rest of my silver silk here. Line it up with your fingers, your index and thumb. Go around once. That's going to be your overlap loop. And then twice, making sure that this is right up, you know, pointing toward you. And then slide it off your fingers and go behind your finger to loop it through. Okay, now this one's a little tricky because as you tighten it up, you're going to notice that you have to push this knot right up against the Landella bead. So just go slow, continue to compress and pull. And with a little patience, you'll notice that just snaps in place. What do you guys think?
I almost got it. I have one side done, one side I'm redoing because I only did 2 coils.
Ah.
By accident.
You
Woohoo!
did 2 coils or not?
Well, one side I made 1 coil too few, but I was able to undo it. And now I match and I feel very symmetrical and proud of myself.
Let's take a look, see. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh my goodness, Danielle. Yes. Yes.
And I think I even have the same amount on each side for the bracelet. Okay, well, this side might be a smidge longer, but it's still going to work. It's going to.
Yeah. Well, the cool thing is you can always snip off what you don't
Yeah.
use. So, you're at a really good setup.
Woohoo.
Sweet. All right. So yeah, with that, I'm just going to tighten this up a little bit more. And what we're going to do is just trim off what we don't need. So in this case, I am going to use a bead board to measure out a symmetrical 7 inches. And remember, you guys, the class was going to add a 3/4 of an inch, give or take, extra. So just think about that as you sort of plan your project size here. Okay. And now we can begin our seed beading adventure. So to do the Landella bead, which is where we're going to start, this is a odd count peyote stitch, which means there's a little bit of extra weaving involved, but not enough to hopefully scare you guys. And I know, Danielle, that we typically like to stick with the even count because it's easier. But that was just not the journey for Landella, sadly. The size of the beads definitely are different from round to, the cylinder shaped ones. So it just
That's
is what it is. Alrighty. I'm going to pick up 3 of those delicas. And I'm working with approximately 2 feet of beading thread. I probably recommend 2.5. I might have cut myself a little bit short. It's always good principle to have a little bit of extra. But over on your channel, Danielle, I do enjoy how, and in fact, I think it was on your recent video for the earring for Winter Renewal on how to add thread, because you swap thread colors in the middle of your um, project with the earrings.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this would work for that.
Hmm. I'm going to pick up a 4th delica and I'm going to go through the middle one. So what you'll notice is that these are going to stack on top of each other like that. And now you'll notice there's nothing for me to go through once I pick up a bead. So that's where the extra stitching comes in place. So instead of going through a bead, I'm going to go down through that last, well, really the first one that I strung, but it'll be the last one of this row. And you'll notice that my thread is going to exit there at the bottom. The idea here is to basically get back to where my thread is going back up through, pass through that delica that I just strung on, the blue one. So I'm going to go down through the middle and we're going to do a little X shape here. So we'll go down through the middle and down through that very last one on the edge there, so that my thread completely exits out on one end. And I'm going to make an X going this way with my thread path. So through the white one, the brown one, and the iridescent one. So that completes my X shape. And now I can kind of go back through that blue one. I know that's confusing, but we're going to do this several times until we kind of pick it up. Okay, so I'll pick up a delica and I'll go through the white. And now I just repeat the same sort of pattern that I did earlier. I'm going to pick up a delica, go through the middle white one that I just strung on. You'll notice that things just start to snap in place. And we're going to do our X shape again. So we're going to pick up a delica. And if there's an easier way to do this, Danielle, by all means, I am completely all ears.
Oh yeah, and the way you're doing it is the way I do it. It's kind of that figure 8 method, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Like odd count, as far as odd count goes, the 3-column version of odd count is, I find, the easiest, like the least like it doesn't really feel as odd county as like the others.
No, you're confusing on the thread path.
Right.
Sea bead weaving isn't really for the faint of heart either. Yeah, you got to be really dedicated and love it to really conquer it, I think. But that's to say it shouldn't be intimidating. It can be challenging if you're doing it for the first time. So these tutorials are massively important for us to do. Okay, so we'll do a few more together, and I've actually got a strip that's finished. But you're looking to do a total of 29 rows.
Oh yeah. See, that needs a lot more to go around there. There you go.
Mhm. Yeah, the Landella beads are quite girthy. Is that the right word? I don't know, but 29 count should definitely work. Do a few more of these, and then I'll show you guys the full strip that I did. Okay, we'll do this. All right, so let's do our figure eight. I'm gonna pick up a bead, go in through that last one there. Whoops. I'm trying to see through my camera and the my laptop and be as close as to the camera as you guys can, so that you guys can see it. Okay, and then I'm going to go through the middle one. Yep. Get that out of the way. The middle one and the blue one. So those two.
Oh, thanks, Sharp Jewelry. That's a nice compliment.
Oh, that is amazing. Yeah, I never thought I would do bead weaving until I watched Danielle. Now I'm addicted. It's frustrating at first, but I'm getting it. That is an amazing, like, story right in itself. It's fantastic. Well, and we will continue to do these sorts of projects to build your knowledge catalog. Okay.
Yeah, the confidence building of just getting a couple that you really like done
Yes.
contributes to the addiction factor, definitely.
And before you know it, you're hoarding seed beads like the
Yep.
rest of us. Alrighty, let me show you guys a strip that's finished. Okay, here it is. I just need to rethread my needle, but this includes the full 29 rows. Now, when you count the rows, I count them diagonally from the middle and the outer edge. On the outer edge, we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So if you've got 15 on the outer edge delicas, then you're in good shape. And you want to make sure that you sort of have this lock ready to go. So you've got two that are sticking out on the outer edge and one that's sticking out in the middle, because they're going to be essentially zipped together on this last part. So I'm going to quickly rethread my needle, and I'm going to grab my Landella bead at this point. And the idea here is, well, even before I do this, do you guys remember what I like to do? I like to make sure that my stitches are locked. And so what I want to do is, before I even wrap it, I'm going to go down through the delica that's below where my thread exits. And I'm just going to go back up through that. And then I'm going to go down through where the thread was originally exiting before, so that whenever I'm maneuvering around the bead and zip tying all this together, my beads are not going to come loose. And I'll want to do this on both ends. So I'm just going to turn this whole thing around and drop my needle. You could put a needle on this side, but I'm going to see if I can freehand this. And if I can't, then I'm gonna have to make it into a needle. But there we go. Okay, so my thread did go through. So push that up through it and then have that thread come back down through that last bead. We go. And your threads are secured. And so when you go to zip tie this, it's going to be quite easy to do because we've locked our thread. Alrighty. Grab your Landella bead, and what you're going to do, I'm going to turn this around. You're going to go through the outer edge, one that sticks up, and you're basically going to just zip this together by going from bead to bead here on both sides. So go through the middle one, and then go through the outer edge one. And because it's an hourglass shape, the Landella bead, it's going to sit quite nicely just in between there. And once you reach the end, you just want to go zip tie back down through all of it again. So go ahead and go through the beads on the edge, maybe. I might have to turn this around to get a little more comfortable. There we go. I'm also pulling everything as close as I can so that it just snaps in place. It should look seamless after you've kind of stitched it all together. Alrighty. What I think I'm gonna do is try and meet my threads together somewhere there in the middle. I'm also trying very hard to not poke myself with the needle. I don't feel like uh, testing my pain tolerance today. Okay. And we'll just go up through this one. Oops. Actually, not that one. To go down through. I need to go down through this with this one. Okay. And what we're going to do is essentially meet our tail threads somewhere there in the middle, and we will just tie them together. And then after that, we'll just stitch it into the work, and that's pretty much all it is. Okay, what I do whenever I'm stitching it back up into the work is that I just cut the threads at equal length, and I'll just attempt to thread both of them onto my needle. Doesn't always work that way, but we're gonna see if that works today. Oh, it does. Okay. Sometimes I have to hold my breath and hope that the wind is like blowing in the right direction in order for both of those to fit in, but perhaps luck is on my side today. Alrighty, so create a complicated thread path by stitching through your beadwork back and forth a few times. You don't need to go too crazy, I think, what is it, like 5 to 6 beads or so? I don't know if you've got like a.
Oh yeah, I mean, usually 3 turns, and in between each of those turns, you'd maybe want to go through a couple beads.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
But you've got a knot and everything, so honestly, you just want to go through a few beads after you tie the knot. That could be fine too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, just enough for that thread to make sure that it's at least away from the knot and sewn in correctly into the beads. Otherwise, I just trim that right off, and then you've got your Landella bead that is embellished. So that's the trick to the middle part. Now, I will say those end caps are much easier to make because all we're going to do is use even count peyote to construct this. And let's see, I used how many beads across here? Let me get my needle there, and then I can get my pointer. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 beads across, and we're looking at a total of 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 beads, which is probably 16 or 17 rows. I have a flat version made, so we'll count it. We'll do a proper count there at the end. So if you wish, I can start to do. Oh, did you make it, Danielle?
Oh yeah.
Let's take a look. Yes. Amazing. You stitched that up so fast.
Oh, I had a good teacher.
Oh, you're also just really fast at sewing. Amazing. Well, you ready to do a quick end cap, and then we can
Yeah.
give the class back over to you. So you'll need approximately probably 3 feet of beading wire. Not beading wire, I'm sorry, beading thread. We're going to use the same one, the 6-pound test of wire line. Okay. Go ahead and thread your needle. And we're going to start out with 8 of those delicas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And there's really nothing much to this. You just slide them down your beading thread, leave yourself about a 5-inch tail, give or take, and then you just start your even count peyote strip. So we're going to string one, skip that first one, go into the second one, like that. And the thing with the single count peyote strip here is that it's going to create a very dense and compact stitching. You could probably even get away with it doing that 2-drop thing that you do sometimes with your patterns, Danielle, which
Oh yeah.
looks gorgeous. But I haven't tried it in terms of doing a cap with it. I think it'd be cool though.
It certainly makes a nice beaded bead.
Yeah. Okay, you could see that I just sewn all of them through. There's not going to be any crazy stitching pattern or a X that we're going to do with this. I've reached the end, which you know that you're coming out through a bead, and I've got my tail thread there as well. So we're just going to pick up a bead and then go back through that last one that we added. And that creates my turn. So we'll just continue to do that until we have a bunch of rows, and I will give you an exact count after I finish this row. Okay, same thing. Once you get to that last bead, pick up a bead and you're ready to go through and create your next row. So you'll continue to do it back and forth, until you have a strip that looks like this. Isn't that the most gorgeous mosaic you have ever seen?
It's pretty.
So
About
pretty.
14 rows, does it look like?
Yes. So, and let me thread this real quick, and then I can give you an exact count. So, and to recap, it's 8 rows wide by, or 8 rows, 8 seed bead, the 8 delica beads wide, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You were exactly correct, my friend. 14.
Bead.
Yeah, exactly. When you know, you know. And you'll want to make sure that the bottom and the top are staggered because, again, we'll be zipping this up together. So my needle is once again threaded, and we're going to basically repurpose what we just learned on how to zip with our beads there. So you'll grab the end of your silver silk, excuse me. And I think what I did was, let's see. Okay, I can go back. Okay, yeah. I want to be at the end of my silver silk, and I want to make it to where the thread is exiting toward me. So basically holding it exactly like this. Your tail thread should face away from you, and your working thread should be toward you. Just make sure that everything is flush up against the leather cord, and at this point, you're ready to zip tie. I already locked in my stitch. Well, actually, did I? I don't think I did. Let me lock in my stitches real quick. I always forget that step until I remember just before I'm zipping it up. So I'm going to lock those stitches in place on both sides real quick. I think it also helps, Danielle, to like, since this one's not a pattern-based design, it's just a mosaic. The stitching can go a lot faster for everyone.
Oh, yeah, not following a pattern. Bonus. Here we go.
Okay. And we're going to go ahead and zip our peyote strip together. So just go back and forth between your beads. Oops. You could even do 2 at a time if you're doing the diagonal work there. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It seems to be a little bit more flexible today, but perhaps it just taking it 1 bead at a time is also okay. Okay.
And
And
Rachel's asking if you're sewing through the leather or the wire at all.
that's a good question. And in fact, we will be here in a short second. So when you go back up, you're going to go to the middle of your stitch work. So I'm going to go back through some of the seed beads. Really, once this gets sewn together, it's very seamless. You don't see anything. And to Rachel's point, you definitely want to have it secured in another way on the leather knitted chain. So what I do is I kind of go through a couple of the beads, at least, just to get myself to somewhat of the middle. And I'm literally just going to stick my needle right through the entire thing. The thing is, you can't do this with your hands alone because you're going to hurt yourself. Grab a pair of chain nose pliers. Oh, those are round nose. That's not going to work. I put my chain nose. Oh, they're on the other table. Let me grab those real quick. I was making class examples for another thing. You're gonna grab the needle with your chain nose pliers, and you're just gonna carefully go through the beadwork. You'll notice that it feels a bit hard because it's going through the soft leather and the knitted wire, but that's what's going to keep it exactly in place throughout the life of this wearability of this amazing bracelet. And what I do is I just go through another bead. You kind of just work yourself up toward the top. You don't want to go too crazy. You don't really need to because there's a very tight hold on this already. Um, but a couple times through the knitted leather cord is going to be pretty substantial. Just be careful that you don't poke yourself in process. And these needles, I got to give them credit because they're a lot stronger than I thought.
Yeah, they're not leather needles, but I'm pretty impressed. I guess they can go through like micro suede, so why not? Right?
Yeah. Well, and so the leather that I use is from India, and it's super, super soft. Compared to Greek leather, which tends to be a little bit more dense, and I think a little bit like I don't think I could do what I'm doing if I used a different type of leather. In other words. Alrighty. I'm gonna exit through the top bead there, and I'm just gonna create a little seed bead loop. And it looks like I used 4 seed beads. So just pick out a color of this amazing mix and just pick up 4 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. 4. And you're gonna go down in the opposite direction, not the opposite direction, I guess so, path across. Something that feels like it's just directly across from your beadwork, and that just creates your little loop. And then you'll want to go through the seed bead next to it or the delica bead, go back through your loop again so that it's stabilized but also centered. And then later you can connect your jump ring to it. And after you've done that, you can then stitch back down through the beadwork to meet up with your tail thread. And then you're pretty much good to go to secure it. And that's basically the entire project.
There we
Easy
go.
peasy. I'll pan over to your camera here shortly once I kind of get through this. Again, just take it one bead at a time. I'm rushing through this because we're doing a class, but you guys will want to take your time and make sure that you're going through these beads accurately. Okay, what I think I'm going to do is just stop at the second row, and then I'm going to take this tail thread and come up through that bead that's next to it. So that way they're a little closer together. And I should be able to tie it right there. Oh, was that a question or just a comment? I think, it was just a comment. I was like, I wasn't even looking at the screen. I don't know what's happening, but we're good. All right, so go ahead and tie it and then stitch the rest of it back into your work and then attach your end caps and you've got a bracelet that you didn't have before. From the Winter Renewal collection. Straight from the Winter Renewal runway.
There we go. Trying to weave through the tubes.
Oh, I know. Once they're really compact, it's kind of difficult.
I am going to use those pliers.
Okay. And for the sake of this, I did 2 turns, so that's probably good, right?
Oh, yeah. Especially since you've got a knot. I feel like it's totally secure to do that.
I think it's, yeah, I just needed permission. That's all I needed. Okay, there, we did 3 turns, so that's good. So yeah, I'm just gonna clip it off here. And I don't have a clasp per se on hand, but you guys can see what I did here as far as just attaching something to it. And then, so I'm gonna pan back over to yours. There you go. Ooh.
So it's ready. I just need to do the loop.
Yes. You know what's also kind of fun that I didn't think about now that I've seen this? You have a little bit of hollow space, and so wouldn't it be cool to put like a little magnet in there that could like
Oh, yeah.
attach the tubes in that way? I mean, there's so many possibilities.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you could put one of those little. Oh, yeah. Like, okay. And even one of those little kind of clasps that's like a tube shape.
Mm-hmm. It would be phenomenal.
That is cool.
So many fun things.
I have one of the magnetic fasteners that came with. Now, Bead Shop put one of these as a gift. I believe they went with antique brass in the Winter Renewal box.
Oh, yeah.
But they have a bunch of them. They have them in other finishes. In addition to the antique brass, they have gold or even copper. What would you think of
That's the cool thing about this too, because the Landella beads, not everyone got the same one. So you could actually kind of pick a clasp over on Bead Shop to like match if you're wanting to go the magnetic route. And any color, any one of those colors would work. Oh my goodness. You could even do silver because it's like a mixed metal piece.
Yeah, you could do that. I have a silver one. Oh no, wait, I don't have a silver one. I have antique brass and I have hematite. But I could also use one of your tiny toggles. Do you still have tiny toggles?
I still do have tiny toggles. I need to get the rest of the colors eventually, but I need to wait for some things first.
You want to do all the things. I'm looking through to see which one. I might have that in silver. Do I have it? I have it.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to see silver, it sounds like. So let's do one of those.
Oh my gosh, that would be pretty. I mean, any one of those clasps are going to be pretty dynamite.
The cool thing about a toggle is we don't need to do a jump ring. We can just go on the ring side through the toggle, right? Why not?
Yeah. Yeah. Because that's the part that doesn't actually toggle.
And we'll just go through this one. What do you think of that?
Love. Yeah, I think that's cute.
And so I'll just need to do some weaving around to reinforce it, but that's pretty much good.
Yeah. And that's all it takes is to do that for the end cap. And that's sort of what I had envisioned. And so I'm really delighted that you included Delicas for this particular bead box. That's not going to be the case, you guys. For every bead box has of Danielle's has seed beads in it, but there's going to be different mixes of different things because I mean, we got to keep it a surprise, each time.
Yeah, exactly.
And different. So
this changing it up,
Yeah, we gotta switch it up, exactly. And I have many more ideas. I just have to wait for the right beads to come into my life.
Yeah, and then there wasn't in this particular box, there wasn't a shaped bead. But I sometimes like to put a shaped bead in there, but it sometimes means one less bead size, like it's a trade-off. Like what do you want to have in each box? You have to kind of I want everything in all of them. But
All the possibilities. Yeah, it's just,
yeah.
but there's something to be said also for newbies that are very new to either silver silk or seed beading or the Danielle Wicks experience. Sometimes having less and then having a plan to do something with it to get started, like a point of orientation, is I think pretty cool to like so that we don't have to include everything. We just include the necessary parts to get started. And then once we sort of get you into our dark side of beading, then, all the possibilities open up.
Exactly. We're like, mwahaha.
Yep.
I'm just beading. So I'm just going to meet my tail and tie a knot. And then what do you think? So on the bar side, do you think I need to jet out at all, or can I just go ahead and do another loop like that?
That's a good question. I feel like it will toggle even if you've got, because the seed beads aren't really preventing it from being stiff or to not being stiff. What am I trying to say? It has
Yeah,
movability.
it
So
has
I think it would be
manipulability.
okay.
Definitely. I'm going to try it out. But I think it'll work, but I have to make that other cap still.
Mm. Well, and I think we've got just enough time, like maybe 10 minutes or so to preview your I didn't leave you with much time at all. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. It's
Nice.
already been taught. So we taught it last week, and then we also have the other class that I did that shows the little points on it. But we were just going to finish up this one. And I could probably do one petal or something, and that would give everyone the general idea.
I think that would be great. Yeah, if you wanted to accomplish a petal.
And the instructions for how this pipe chain was put together with the crimp and the ear wire on there, you did that as part of your TGBE.
Did I?
Yesterday? Did you teach that yesterday?
Oh, that was with soft flex wire.
Oh, it was. It didn't have. Well, hang on. No, this is soft flex wire.
Oh, wait. How to put yes, I'm sorry. How to make the hoop, but not the seed beading.
Yeah, we made it last week on
Yes.
SilverSilk Sunday too, so you could always go back and watch that one. But
Yes.
I feel like you went more in depth.
Sorry, I totally spaced. I was.
That's okay.
My excuse is that I was stitching the second cap.
No worries.
And then
I gotta finish my other cap too, so I can do a nice photo.
Oh yeah, I was totally stitching this, and I was half paying attention.
But I will get this done because this is going to be a fun one. It's going
I
to
think
have.
so too. It's beautiful.
It'll match with my bracelet. So let's see. I've strung 2 seed beads. So there's 1 and 2, and this is after brick stitching with the brown on there. So there's the 2, and then for this one, I'm just going to go under the first thread bridge, and we'll want to go up through the second seed bead, and then we'll just do 2 more seed beads in the beautiful yellow color. And this is just going to be basically step for step for what we did in the earrings class that I taught last Saturday.
You guys
don't have to memorize
anything. Get Danielle's pattern, and I believe Colleen, you might have posted her tutorials page already. You've been posting like a pro, and I haven't even checked because I already know that you're amazing at it. And so I didn't check to see if you had posted Danielle's tutorial page, but you guys need to check out Danielle's patterns. They're dynamite.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's a big compliment coming from you because your stuff is good.
Well, that's where I think we really complement each other. We just bring our best energy forward.
Absolutely. All your graphics and like the presentation is always pretty impressive. I'm like, wow, you made it look so much better.
No,
really cool.
I quite enjoy what you've put together as well, to be honest. And you're comprehensive. Your videos look great. Your projects are very strong. Like you've got everything going for you. But I feel like we just kind of complement each other in the best ways.
I've copied a lot of your style when it comes to how to graphically present something, because that's not one of my strengths. I'm more of like just get it on the paper, like get those instructions there.
So now I copied my instruction and the way that I teach not copied, I guess. I was inspired heavily by some of the stuff you've done. So,
Oh.
you know, I like the way you explain things, and sometimes I like it when you say midpoint. Um, so I just started using that.
I didn't even know that was like a special way of presenting it. I'm like, oh, cool.
One of like, it's the thing that you say, not like a lot, but you say it, and that's where I remember you saying it. I'm like, midpoint just makes me think of you. It's funny.
Sounds like I'm in a statistics class. So this is absolutely working. Just as far as like how to get this cute little point on there. Oh, and there's the pattern link right there popping up. Thanks, Colleen.
Yeah, Colleen's on it.
So it's a lot more in depth in the class where we do all the petals. You know, there's a class where literally they all go around a hoop. But instead of a hoop, for this particular one, we used the micro pipe chain. It is on soft flex beading wire with a crimp that's hidden under that ear wire.
Mm-hmm.
In summary. And it's so pretty. Yeah.
It's
just working.
Oh my god, I love that. Did you do a little like mini pattern in it, or has it always been like that?
It's always had a kind of ombre with the yellows. There's 4 yellow colors in that mix, the witch hazel mix, and I went with the brightest one as its edge, like in a step. Then there's a sun glow, a neon sun glow. That's the next one in. Then there's a Celion color, and then finally there's a color lined yellow.
You know I love a subtle ombre. That is very smart.
It's like the pearl version of any color. That's how I kind of think of it.
Yep, 100%.
And then just to start your next petal, you just go down, weave down the stairs till you reach the brown topaz beads of the brick stitch row. And then being careful not to catch the knitting, because, you know, we brick stitched onto the knitting, but now I just want to step and turn to the next bead there. Like that. And start the next petal. And that's pretty much all you got to do. So I'll finish that up. I'll just take that all the way around, repeating what I did there. And we'll have an earring.
You did that much faster than my demo.
It's one that I've done before, so I feel like it's kind of motor memory right now. The let's see, the finished earring that we did on the hoops is this one, in case anyone hasn't seen it, but I know a lot of you guys already have.
And yeah, that'll be the PDF that you're looking for too.
Yeah, and this will have an extra petal. And I believe one of them will be pointing from the middle.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because we had to change the count up a little bit to accommodate for the hoop of the pipe chain. What a smart idea, though. I really am looking forward to seeing that one bloom, so to speak.
Me too. Should I finish it offline for, or should I, keep it for next weekend? What do you think?
Yeah, we could keep it for next weekend. And I say that because I think my demo is completely less. And I'll bring in both cameras. Sorry. I was stitching stuff, you guys. So like,
oh, you were?
I got lost. I was like, I want to get this other end cap done. There's mine. All stitched and ready to go.
Oh, it's so nice.
Thank you. I'm very, very happy with this. So what's funny is I used sort of a terracotta color for the Landella bead on one, and then this one's sort of that pewter color, and they're very different from each other.
Oh, I like them both. I got the terracotta in my kit.
Yeah. There was either a terracotta, a dark brown, and I think there was one other color that so everyone kind of had a somewhat different Landella bead, which makes it
so
fun and
nice.
interesting.
Yeah.
But what was I saying? Oh yeah. So in regard to your earring, yes, I believe I'm also teaching an earring next week, and so my demo will be completely shorter than this one.
That's awesome. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
And I see a question about when our next one is coming out. So we did meet with Bead Shop, and we have a good idea for when the next boxes will go on pre-order. But I would say join us this Friday, the 23rd, on beadshop.com's channel, which is the Free Tip Friday, 10:30 Pacific. That's 10:30, 11:30. Is that I tried to count 1:30 Eastern, I think is the time.
Wait, what time was it again?
If it's 10:30 Pacific.
Oh, that's 12:30 my time.
12:30 your Central, and so Eastern for Colleen, that's 1:30.
It's 1:30.
Anyway, that's when Bead Shop usually goes live for their Free Tip Friday. And we're gonna do a Winter Renewal wrap-up, which I'm sure will include some looking ahead info on the next box. So
yeah, we haven't really started advertising for it yet because we're still like we're kind of just in the middle of winter, at least for some of the SilverSilk projects. We're sort of in the middle of winter renewal, and we'll have a little, like a very short 1-week break before we do the big launch for the next one.
Yeah, exactly. And then that's one of the things we were chatting about, was letting folks have some time to just, sit with the Winter Renewal box and enjoy it and not feel like you're in a marathon sprint to finish everything because the new one's coming. Like, you're going to have some breathing room to chill, and the next one's coming.
Fun to make stuff, to really get that runway collection underway.
Exactly.
All right, why don't we flip us back around and kind of just reminisce on this hour that we've done together. There we go. I'm sorry, my demonstration. You know how comprehensive I get with getting into things.
This is one of the. I mean, honestly, so this for me, when you were first doing projects, all your projects are amazing. Saying that right up front, but this one for me particularly was the one where I was like, "Holy cow!" Because so this one needed the extra attention, because it honestly is it's so showstopper. I think it needed the extra time, and it's got two very distinct components that had to be assembled.
Yeah, the barrel knots are like a one thing technique, and then doing the seed bead on top of that is just like, Nile, how crazy can you get? And then I was just like, let's just add in everything into this bracelet.
Well, this is going to be a useful skill for this. This means if you don't have a finding, or if you don't have the finding maybe finish that you want, you can make your own now. Just like that.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. And that was sort of what I envisioned immediately when you had the Delica mix in there, was and I I knew the formula already, but I couldn't do it because it works differently with round seed beads than it does with Delicas. And Delicas, because of how cylindrical and smooth they are, just create a completely different finish of an end cap than round seed beads do. We sort of saw that with the Lariat design. And we were using size 8 seed beads, but it was still a lot more robust. And so that worked for that project. But immediately when I saw these Delicas, I was like, yep, we're doing end caps.
Yep. And I feel like this would also work with an 11-0 Delica. So if you're somebody who likes to work with the tiny 11-0s, your count there is going to be between 16 and 18, depending on whether or not you're working with the capture versus leather knitted chain. I've done 11-0s on the chain before, and that's usually the count. If you want it to move and go with more like 18, if you want it really tight, you go with about 16 rows. That's how I knew you were count.
You might not even have to sew through the tubing if it's that tight.
Yeah, exactly. But it works really nicely. And then the other cool pointer is size 10 Delica. It's about the same size, 1.8 millimeters, as a Toho 11-0. So if you're someone with a bunch of Tohos in your stash, they're naturally a bit cylindrical as well. So an 11-0 Toho could be used in this exact count to create end caps.
I think I've only been collecting the ones that you've given me thus far.
I should send you one of my 11-0 Toho collections, because those are pretty good. I actually only had one of them recently, but the colors would, I think, be your style. There is a mustard.
I do love a mustard. I love a mustard.
Yes, exactly.
It matches everything. I don't care what everybody says. It matches everything.
So cool.
Well, you guys, this was an amazing hour. Thanks so much for joining me for yet another SilverSilk Sunday, my second day teaching, it's taken a lot, but I am delighted to share the knowledge, and special thanks to Colleen for being the
Yeah.
amazing person on the back end and doing all the link sharing for you guys. Check out the pop-up shop on silversilkandmore.com. There's some new beads in there. Stuff is already sold out, so I apologize for that. It's just that stuff's limited quantity, and it's like cool stuff that I find. And I'm just like, let me just throw it on there and see what happens. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and like this video. Those things lets YouTube know that this channel needs visibility and continues to kind of get into the feed for crafters and lets people know that we're up and running. And then please do the same for Danielle Wick's jewelry as well. And then you've got your Seed Bead Saturday that's coming up this end of this weekend,
Yep.
followed by SilverSilk Sunday again. So Danielle and I, we cover the weekend. Just pop us on.
Yeah.
We'll be insanely happy all weekend.
We are your weekend party.
We are your weekend party. I freaking love that.
Cheers.
Okay. Yes. Cheers to that. I've got my coffee in my soft vintage cup.
I got my sparkling. And like I got these for my birthday.
Oh, those are pretty. It reminds me of the that you get like
they're on Amazon. They're like I don't know, some kind of glass, something.
So fun. All righty. Well, we're headed out to enjoy the last bit of our weekend, but we'll see you guys again for our party next weekend.
See you then.
See ya.